Actually, that would be next down the hill here. My uncle had a house, and he used to let people use the house for dance, just one-room house. And it was after I think it was the first year. After the first, I started playing in 1 year's time, exactly 1 year. And I was tempted to try some of my fiddling, and I went down where the dance was, and I was standing there, and it took a break. And the fiddler, I think that time was Sam Noren, playing for the dance. So the fiddle was sitting on a bench here, so I picked it up, and everybody went outside to cool off. It was in the month of June or something. So I was holding the fiddle there, and everybody got back on the floor. Come on and hurry up! So I was happy. I started playing, and everybody started square dancing, and I didn't get very far, and my arms are tired. So I was trying to stop. Some more, you know. And I tried again, you know, kind of slowed down a bit, you know, slowing down, and finally I couldn't play anymore. I stopped. It's not over yet. Some more. I tried again. I couldn't play anymore. I just put my fiddle down and I just ran out. When I got home, I just about cried. You know, I was embarrassed, and I thought, what am I going to do? You know, I just felt so awful. So I just went to sleep. Next day, I put an old arm clock beside me, and I grabbed my fiddle, and I played, and I timed myself, and then wait for a little while, and I played again. It was, every time I played, it was getting a little longer. So maybe in a month or more, then I can play without stop over half an hour, you know. And first it was only maybe 3 or 4 minutes when maybe a length of a ordinary song. That's when I couldn't do any more. So I played for a dance a few months later. There's a dance, and I played, and I've been playing ever since. I was 14 years old when I first dance I played for.
Was there any place else, say a young fiddler just learning to play the fiddle? Were there any other places you could get a fiddle or buy a fiddle other than Hudson Bay Company?
Well, those days, the only way you can get out of Fort Res is by boat or dog team. I've been to Yellowknife with dog team and been to here with dog team, but I had a fiddle. And those days, you did, as long as it made noise and that, you know, fiddle, to me those days, the fiddle was the fiddle, and you know, I wasn't looking for a better fiddle or anything, but I can tell you a little story about it if you want me now. One time, when I used to go to Here River by boat, we had a small motor those days. It takes about a day and a half to get there. And I always carried my fiddle with me, and to get to Here River, used to have a dance at the old village in Here River. At that time here, we were just starting on the other side, which they call the old town now. And there's no new town in Here River, nothing, no highway. And I remember in the spring, my grandfather, we used to go to Here River after we can get along the shore of the ice. Sometimes I have to push through the ice to get to Here River. And when I get to Here River, since I play fiddle, people used to put out dances. I used to play for dances. It was just a fiddle guitar, that's it. And the guy who used to play guitar for me, his name was Albert Noren, and he's gone now. And I played for many dances in here like that, and one time I forgot my fiddle after I got halfway. And to turn back, it was going to be almost a day, and I get back there, and I told Grandpa I forgot my fiddle. It wasn't important for Grandpa, so he made signs at me to carry on going, you know. He just waved his hand to me to keep on going to Here River. I got to Here River, And by this time, I played a number of times in Hay River, and people saw me in Hay River there at the old village. I guess they arranged a dance. They used to have a dance where they call Johnny Lemelis. It was a one-room house too, and a kitchen in the back. And I guess they arranged for a dance. I didn't know. I guess they thought I had my fiddle. And somebody came and said, "They're waiting for you." I said, "For what?" "Waiting for you for a dance." I told them I didn't have my fiddle. So I went over there, and people were sitting all around. I told them I forgot my fiddle. And they started looking around for a fiddle. There was a guy in that time named Frank Lapini had a fiddle, but he was still out on the land yet. So a few people were looking around for a fiddle, and they found a fiddle, and the bow only had just a few hair on it. Now they couldn't find any other bow, and there's not enough hair on there to play it. Really, to play it, there's only maybe 3 or 4 or something like that. It was so little. And this is a real true story, and I have a witness that still alive today in Hay River. Pat Buggins is still alive in Hay River. He was there. His brother and him were there, but his brother's gone since. And somebody said that Johnny Lemelis, where we're going to have that dance, had a horse that had a sore leg or a sore foot or something like that. They shot that horse that morning. So they went and get that horse tail. So when they brought the horse tail, it was it's a brown horse. And they chopped the tail off, so it brought me the whole tail. So I took the longest part of the hair, and old lady gave me scissors, and I cut it off. And I never ever done this before, so I didn't know if it was going to work or what, but we couldn't find a bow, so I just, the old lady put me some water in a wash basin, and I put the hair in there, and I kind of combed it and rinsed it a little bit. She helped me to wash it, and I kind of she got me some sinew, and I tied one end, and then I combed it, and then with my hand, rubbing my hand on it, I kind of evened it out as much as I can, and I tied another sinew on it. And then we had to dry that before we do anything with it, so we hung it up above the cook stove, and not even thinking we didn't have any rosin, here, till I got the bow ready, and I was ready to start, and of course it can't make any noise because it's just ordinary hair and nothing on it, eh? Now we couldn't find any rosin. It's just like a BS story, but this is really true, And so one of the guys, I said spruce gum would work. So they went in the bush and they got me some spruce gum. So by this time it was getting fairly late, but everybody was patient, Those days we didn't have TVs or anything to go to, so this was something special when I'm in the River, and so anyway, I started playing, and I put quite a bit of that rosin on it, and it sounded like a fiddle, and way it started, and boy, people were just sweating the way, square dancing and everything there, 2 steps and you name it, And I remember the sun was, the sun set and the sun was up high. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Just.
Whatever.
You'll probably do that again.
Well, I'll try and remember. So I remember the sun was up fairly high the next day. And the dance was still going on, and people were still dancing, And that's what I never experienced that before, but it worked, And I have one person to witness that they're alive yet. Well, there's a number of them alive, but I remember I was playing in here once with my full band, and Pat walked up to me and he said, "You remember that dead horse?" And I forgot what he was talking about. I said, what dead horse? You remember that dead horse tail that brought you? And only then it came back, and, oh, I said, yeah. He said, it's a bit different from that time to now. He said, we have all this modern equipment, band, and the whole speakers and all the amplifiers and all that, and he said, you were playing that time, you're still playing, he told me, So that's something I experienced.